Hi, I'm Father Jim Forson, and I'd like to offer you some reflections on this Easter Sunday. First, happy Easter, everyone. I pray that this day be a blessing for you and that God's blessings come to you on this Easter. You know, I have figured out how to solve all the problems in the world. You laugh, but stay with me. We could solve all the problems in the world if everyone would just obey me. Just do what I tell them to do, and we won't have any more difficulties. And you know I'm right, because you've thought the same thing yourselves, parents. Don't you say things like, if these kids would just obey me, we wouldn't have these problems. Absolutely. And spouses have said that about one another. Oh, God, if they would just obey, just do what I tell you to do. Right? One of my favorite movies, the favorite movie of all time, which I've told you before, and I'm going to tell you again until I have made this become everybody's favorite movie, is Moonstruck with Nicolas Cage and Cher. And in the movie, there's this one fabulous scene where Cher is engaged to be married to this man, and she has met his brother, and they have fallen in love with one another, and Cher is shocked at herself and has to cut this whole thing off. And so she tells Nicolas Cage, okay, that's it. We're done with each other. Now, you're going to go your way. I'm going to go my way. And that's just going to be that. And I'm going to marry your brother, and that'll be fine. That's what's going to happen. And then Nicolas Cage says to her, Loretta, I can't. I'm in love with you. And she says, with a shocked look on her face, what? And she just slaps him and says, snap out of it. I love that. I mean, I would love to do that. I don't want to slap anybody, but I would love that idea of just saying to somebody, snap out of it. And they do. Obey me, and this place, this world, this life would be so much better. Well, in a parallel fashion, that's what Jesus calls us to on this Easter Sunday. He calls us to obey him. We've been hearing in this past week him saying over and over, you are my friends if you do as I command you. And as I have done, so must you do. And I have come not to be served, but to serve. And those who follow me must serve others. We hear him saying over and over and over again, especially on Easter Sunday, as I have laid down my life, so must you do yours. And we celebrate that Christ laid down his life so that there could be resurrection, so that there could be new life. And he laid down his life for those who deserved it and those who did not. He sacrificed himself. He laid down his life for his apostles who would abandon him, who betrayed him, who denied him. And he laid down his life for his mother, who followed him all the way to the foot of the cross. He laid down his life for those soldiers who tortured him, and for the soldier who at the end recognized, truly, this is the Son of God. He laid down his life for those Pharisees and Sadducees who hated him. And he laid down his life for the good thief who sought his blessings at the last minute of life. For those who deserved it, for those who did not deserve it, he laid down his life so that others could have life. And after death would come resurrection. And he calls us, his disciples, to do the same, to lay down our lives so that others can have life. And stop and think just for a second. How many people have sacrificed themselves for us? How many people have laid down their lives so that we can have life? What immediately comes to mind is our parents. to one degree or the other. My dad worked 2 jobs all his life, and my mom, 28 years as a Catholic school teacher. They laid down their lives so that I and my sisters would have life. And I think of my sisters, lived in Omaha, and when my mom was in her declining years, all the care they gave to her, they were laying down their lives so that she could have life. And think of the times in which not just our parents, sometimes our friends, sometimes children for their parents lay down their lives so that the other can have life. Stop and think of the people we don't even know who have done that for us. Soldiers who defend us, policemen, firemen who protect us. All these people who have been pouring out their life. I think of myself over the last couple of years and the 6, 7 surgeries I've had, and all of those doctors and all of those nurses. They weren't just doing a job. They were doing far more than that. They poured themselves out for me, and I'm so grateful to them. Their sacrifice gave me life. And that's what Jesus calls us today to do, to pour out our lives. And in doing so, we can be able to bring life into this world. And you know, I can't think of a better example of one who sacrifices to bring life than that of a mother who has to go through all the pain of childbirth in order to bring life into the world. I asked this one mom, what was it like, for you to bring life into the world? And she wrote this to me. Bringing life into the world was scary and overwhelming. A new life was dependent upon me for everything, and God had neglected to provide a beginner's manual. It was marvelous, and I could not stop marveling at the miracle of life that was coming from me, growing in strength and stature. This marveling only increased as I breastfed and watched the little body grow. Stronger muscles, longer bones, hair, fingernails. It seemed even more miraculous than the initial conception because I could see it happening before my eyes. When he would nap, although I was exhausted and needed to sleep, I wouldn't because I couldn't stop staring at him. So perfect, so miraculously tiny, yet fully formed. It was humbling. Deeply humbling. God entrusted me with this life. Me. I would do it all again in a heartbeat, just to have that experience of marveling at the miracle again. It was a connection to the divine like nothing else. We sacrifice ourselves. We pour ourselves out. We die a little in order to bring life into this world. So, on this Easter Sunday, for whom will I lay down my life? For whom will I sacrifice myself so that they might have life, and so that I might be at one with the divine? Happy Easter.